Good morning. This is news update from NFTV News Center. I am Victoria Anyoleye. The federal government has announced plans to abolish the long-standing higher national diploma HND dichotomy by empowering polytechnics to award degrees in the major reform aimed at repositioning technical and vocational education as the driver of national development. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, disclosed this in Abuja while addressing a high-level retreat of council chairmen, commissioners of education, rectors, registrars and bursars. Describing the move as a landmark policy shift, the minister said it would end decades of discrimination against polytechnics graduates and elevate polytechnics into center of excellence within Nigeria's higher education system. According to him, the reform will place polytechnic education on a stronger footing while preserving its core at all persons abducted during Sunday's attack on Kumiwali village in Kajuru local government area of senior government officials and security chiefs to the community to commiserate with residents. He said the state government had been working round the clock with security agencies to rescue the release of the abductee remained the same regardless of the figures involved. He condemned the attempt to politicize the incident, urging the public to focus on the sanctity of human life rather than statistics. And meanwhile, 5 soldiers have been killed when a Boko Haram suicide bomber rammed into a military. Security sources confirmed that 2 senior military officers, a major and a lieutenant, were affected in the attack. He said the terrorists used a car loaded with explosives to ram into the military convoy. The troops were returning from a clearance operation that successfully dislodged several insurgent camps and killed many. FCCPC has begun reinforcing regulations against digital money lending DML operators that fail to regularize their status under the Digital Electronic Online and Non-Traditional Consumer Lending Regulation 2025. Under the approved enforcement framework, the regularization process within the transitional period. The operators have also been removed from the FCCP's published register of approved digital lenders pending compliance with regulatory requirements. The Labour Party faction loyal to Abia State Governor Alex Otti has called for reconciliation and unity in the party following Wednesday's judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja, which ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission to recognize the Senator Nandi Usman-led caretaker committee and made the appeal in a statement issued by a senior special advisor on media, Ken Osagwa. Describing the ruling as a critical opportunity to heal deep-seated divisions within the party rather than worsening the leadership crisis. According to Usman, the judgment should mark a turning point for the party. And return with foreign news. Do stay with us. Welcome back from that break. And on foreign scene, President Donald Trump has said the United States is exploring a potential deal on Greenland after talks with NATO as a backed-off threat to tariff European allies that had opposed his plans for America to acquire the island. Trump offered a few details about discussion that both he and NATO described as very productive. After rattling the transatlantic alliance with weeks of rhetoric, the United States president said the meeting had led the framework of a potential agreement. But there was no suggestion of a deal that might meet Trump's demand for ownership of Greenland and ambition he restated at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, while also ruling out military force. And a key United States congressional panel has voted to order to comply with subpoenas in its investigation of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The Republican-led House Oversight Committee approved the content measure department. On Wednesday, 9 Democrats voted with Republicans to hold Bill Clinton in contempt of Congress, while the 3 Democrats voted to hold Hillary Clinton in contempt. If the full House votes in favor, the Department of Justice will decide whether to prosecute the charges, which is the moral offense punishable by a fine up to $100,000 and imprisonment up to a year. And that ends the news update from NFTV News Center. Many thanks for joining us. I am Victoria Anyoleye. Good morning.